All right, so hey everyone. Today I have the opportunity of just chatting with all of our graduates. I'm super excited to be chatting with all of you because I know that you are working on some big things, and I want to be able to share with anyone out there. And I'm so happy that you guys want to share too, because I think that it's really important for us to be able to share like our experiences and share what it is that drove us to where we are today, right? Because so many people are sitting there right now and they might be watching this and they might be thinking about changing their career or getting into health and fitness or doing that, but they have all these doubts. They have all these self-doubts of like, do I look the part? Am I good enough to do this? Am I, able to manage all of this stuff? So I just want to go through some questions with you guys, chat with you guys, and just hear like personally what it is that you are doing now, but also why you got into this. So let's just start, you know what? Let's just start with Claudia. Claudia, hey. So Claudia, why don't you tell us where you were at in your life journey and career sort of before you began this program?
Okay, so basically I was a stay-at-home mom, and basically I was dealing with osteoarthritis. I was 35 pounds overweight and I was miserable. So 2015, I decided to lose the weight and basically shift my mindset, right? Because I had a very short-term mentality. So basically, I lost the weight, and my sister, I was telling her that I actually wanted to change my career because people started seeing a change in me, and they were asking me, oh, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And so basically I thought, you know what, I want to help people change their mindset, because it frustrated me that people were on this yo-yo dieting, and
Right.
it was a roller coaster, right? So basically I thought I wanted to do that. I wanted to help people transform. So my sister found your ad on Facebook, and so she sent it to me and she's like, why don't you check this out? So I did, and basically, lo and behold, I've graduated and I'm going to be starting my own business. So,
yay! Awesome. And so same question for you, Dougmary. Why don't you tell us, where were you? Because I know that your life was completely different because you were working in advertising and everything else. So why don't you tell us sort of like what, I guess, what you were doing before and what inspired you to take the program?
Yes, I was in advertising and communications during all my life. Like the last 15 years, I was working in the corporate world. And then when I became a mom, I started working from home and part-time with some organizations. I knew that I wanted something different in my life. I wanted to help people with my career. So I work a lot in non-for-profit and non-profit organizations because I wanted like to tie my career, but I felt still like kind of empty. Like I wasn't in, like I wasn't doing my purpose in life.
Right.
So I was always in that searching. Then at the same time, 5 years ago, I was overweight, 20 pounds overweight. Maybe now it's more because now that I'm working, I'm more active. I've been losing more weight. I don't want to, but I'm so active
just because you're moving so much. Yeah.
I'm moving more and I'm eating a lot, but so maybe it was a little bit more of that, but also I was really sick and my husband was really sick too. We started looking like for doctors and things like that. And then through food, I learned that tiny changes could, improve our health and our life.
Right.
Then I lost the weight, and then I started a food blog in Instagram, and people started asking me questions. I learned a lot by myself, but it was my hobby. Then last year, it was like 2 years ago. Oh my God. Yeah. I was watching a food documentary, and I was like super mad. And I was like, I have to do something. Moms need to understand what is going on with the food industry. The kids are getting sick. I have to teach them. But I don't know how to start. And my husband was like, well, do something about it. Don't complain. You have the time. You can do it. I was like, but nobody's going to believe me. And then I talked to a friend who lives in Canada because I'm in the States. And she told me, I'm going to send you a link, just like, your sister. Link, this program matches so much with your personality because I was into fitness too. I started doing bootcamp 5 years ago.
Right.
And then with your video and Laura video, I was like, oh my God, I love them. I think I'm going to do it. And it was like in 2 days. I enrolled in 2 days. I didn't have.
I remember. Yeah.
It was about it. I just
Yeah.
got the link and I said like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I didn't have the vision to have a business by that time. I just wanted to understand and learn more to be able to help others. But I never thought that this was going to be my career now. Like, not at all. It was like when I got into the program.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. And I'm just going to ask everyone the same question so I can also introduce you guys. So Rowen, why don't you tell us the same sort of thing, what you were doing before and what kind of inspired you to get into taking this program in the first place?
So I've worked in nonprofit my whole life. I presently still work with adults with acquired brain injury. And they have really inspired me in a way to live in the moment and be here now, because for them, that's really all they have. Their memory is so impaired at times, and they're also so grateful to be alive. And so I started searching for something to fix some of the things in my life that weren't working. I was overweight. I had a lot of body pain. I kept trying to join a gym. It didn't work. I found a boot camp and I was terrified. I had, I'm thinking like all these athletic people, they're going to be so much better than me. And I started with a 6-week challenge, and lo and behold, I actually loved it. And, I remember the first time looking in the mirror, brushing my teeth, looking down at my bicep, and I was like, oh, I got some tights there. And I kind of liked feeling stronger, feeling better. It was never my intention to become a fitness model or, get super thin. I just wanted to feel better, feel healthier. And over the course of a year, I lost 70 pounds. And people started saying things like, oh, this is inspiring. You're inspiring me. And that didn't even occur to me. I was just doing it just to feel better. And because I like helping people, I started to think, well, maybe there's a way that I can, help other people feel the way that I'm feeling. And I found your Facebook ad came up, and then you and I had a conversation on the phone that I felt really connected to your program, and everything you said was open and honest. And so, yeah, here I am. I in January launched a boot camp with a partner, and yeah, we're doing it. So
it's fantastic. Congratulations. That's awesome. And Jen, can you share with us the same thing? Hi, Jen.
Hi. Yeah, for sure. When I was in university, I was becoming, overweight, a lot of stress. I wasn't really into my degree. I was studying jazz vocal music, and it was good. And I still, music is still a big part of my life, and I still perform, but I just didn't feel like I could take my career anywhere kind of, with that field. And I was with a personal trainer at the time because I always had an interest in the gym. I was always active, but I wasn't really sure where to start. And he was a really great trainer. And I think that he kind of like fueled the fire underneath me to kind of just learn. And when I was in university, I was like, well, I was kind of, interested in changing my degree. Like I wanted to maybe go into kinesiology or something like that. Cause I just generally wanted to learn. Like I wanted to understand and to just learn about muscles and connections and all those crazy, sciencey things. But I was just realizing that it was going to be a lot of work to change my degree completely, because even in high school too, like I'm young, like I didn't really think, I was going to do fitness. I thought music was always a big thing in my life. So I always was kind of like one track minded type of thing.
Right.
So change to kinesiology was like a crazy amount of like schooling. I would have had to gone actually back to high school to get some science credits. So it was just, it was just very overwhelming. yeah. And then another thing too, I wasn't 100% sure. Like, I wasn't sure if like, you know, fitness was going to be for me. I just kind of wanted to kind of get my feet wet.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of research and I came across, you know, the Fit Chicks Academy, and it looked really, really great. And I really liked that it was online because I was also, at the time I had stopped, my schooling and I was just working. So I didn't want to just not completely like, just to drop everything and go back to school. Cause I felt like time wasn't on my side. I know like maybe that sounds crazy because I'm still young, but I just felt like I wanted to, you know, have something that I could feel my interest in and then see where it takes me. And here we are. So it was just a really like kind of like a fluky situation where I just kind of wanted to just learn. And then now I've really been submersed in it. And now I really want to create this as a more, you know, career and profession.
That's awesome. Perfect. And then Sarah, everyone, this is Sarah. Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you were doing too, and then what inspired you to take the program?
Okay, so in a nutshell, I was in an abusive marriage, got out by the time I was 30, and that kind of set me on this journey to self-love. So I had hated myself. I didn't like what I looked like. I also had a lot of healing I had to go through. And then I ended up through the journey, started modeling. I ended up entering the Miss Plus Canada contest and won. And then that just sort of started a whole bunch of things. I was actually scheduled for gastric bypass. And when I won, I was like, I don't think I can do that as Miss Plus Canada. So I started on the journey of figuring out how to get my body out of pain. And I did that doing Whole30, so removing foods that cause inflammation. And 3 months after that, started getting active. Through my platform, I would document just like being active. It was never about losing weight. It was just about feeling better and getting stronger and not living in pain. I ended up losing like 70 pounds, but people followed my fitness aspect of it. And I've always been an athlete. I played rugby, basketball, volleyball. I'm tall, so it was always like a given. I just always sucked, but mainly because I didn't have confidence. So people would always comment about how it was inspiring to see me like deadlift or sled pushes. And I joined a boot camp class and really enjoyed it. The community and like just being in that environment. And I was known as the queen of modifications because there's a lot I couldn't do because of my back. And so I just kind of like was like, maybe this is something I could do. I was like, but it just sounds crazy. I don't look like your regular personal trainer. I'm plus size. Like, then I was like, well, maybe I'll look into it. And then I like looked at CanFit Pro and I was like, I can't do it. I can't just like go to a weekend class, then write an exam and do my practical. Like it just, I don't learn well that way. I'm like, I would just fail. And so actually I work for Fabu Plus magazine, which is the only plus size print body positive magazine. And the founder and me are really close, and she had told me about you guys. And so I joined your webinar, and then I paid my subscription or my fee that day. And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm in. Yeah. And for me, the reason I was in was because it was about really learning and taking a couple months to have practicals incorporated into it so that I actually knew how to do a business. And then having the business aspect as part of the course as well was massive for me. I'm naturally business minded. Yeah. So it just was bringing it all together, which is what I needed to start something strong. And so I still work full time. I work for a software company doing fundraising for nonprofits. I also still model and I blog and I motivational speak. And I just had my launch party yesterday, and I start classes officially on Monday. So
yay!
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I set like New Year's Eve, I spent in my boyfriend's office and we made goals and I made a timeline. All my assignments had to be done by January so that I had February to apply for all my applications and insurance and everything so that I was ready to go for March. And it happened. So I really appreciated the flexibility, and you guys were super responsive in like questions and help, and it really is a community, and I love that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that one of the main benefits I think personally about the program is the community itself, and not just Laura and I, but like everybody involved in it. And because we have this online community of like women that, you know, are either going through the course or have graduated from the program, and they just share and they work together as opposed to feeling like you're up against them. You know, like there's so much like of that in different industries where you always feel like you're like trying to like get ahead of someone else. Whereas in our community, it's really just about like-minded women just sharing and supporting as much as possible. So I agree. I think it's one of the biggest benefits. So what would you guys say? And we'll start again with Claudia. What would you say would be the biggest benefit about the program for you specifically?
The biggest benefit was that I learned so much in all areas. So learning about wellness, the whole thing of attracts like is huge.
The law of attraction.
Yes. And it's really helping me now just to get into that mindset, because I am starting my business and you have all these fears and stuff. And I keep reminding myself, fear is only having faith that something bad is going to happen. So why not have faith that something's good's going to happen? And just to constantly remind myself that not everyone is going to be attracted to your story and is going to want to go with you, but the people that are attracted to you, they need you. So that has been huge. So
yeah, for sure. No, that's great. And Dougmary or Dookie?
So the benefit for me has been, first, the community, as you said before.
Yeah.
That I can ask you guys about anything, and I feel that I have the support that I feel that maybe in another program I wouldn't have. Because I know that the other programs are maybe just take a test, go, so
you're kind of on your own. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm not good on my own. So that's why I love the community. And second, the program has been so well structured. Of course, like for me, when I enrolled, it was more about nutrition because it's my passion. But then I learned a lot about fitness that ever before. I was like, I can't believe I'm learning all of this. So that was huge. And wellness, that maybe we were like, wellness is like the easy part. It was incredible. Like it changed everything for me, that module. And I'm glad that it was like before the business, because it was really enlightening. Like the process was all structured to decide about my business, my business structure as well. So that I have the 4 areas in one program, for me was the benefit. Also, that it was online and I could have the flexibility of being a mom. I was still working and studying. So I know, like, many benefits.
A lot of benefits. No, it's good. Yeah. And so what about you, Rowen? What was sort of the biggest benefit for you in terms of the program, did you find?
Well, not only the flexibility of, still being able to work and do it at your own pace, and the way that it's set up is made for success. Instead of failure, like it would be really difficult to fail at this because you guys are so supportive and, the amount of time that you give. But what I really liked is that all of the content in all of the areas is practical and usable. And, both the business, the wellness, and especially the fitness. For me, being very much a beginner in the fitness aspect, it was overwhelming and a lot of content, but it's all usable and it's all still there for me, sitting on my desk if I need to check it out. And the fact that it's practical is really important when you're wanting to get into a business, even if you don't know what it is, if it's within those things. Yeah, I've been using something from each piece that we learned. So.
Oh, that's great. And Jen, what about you? What did you find the most beneficial for you with the program?
I think everyone made some really great points, but I think for me the biggest thing was the practicality of it. That it does have, what Rowen was saying, it does have a lot of usable material, and even going back to the whole deciding to possibly change my major to kinesiology. I have a ton of friends who've just finished their kinesiology degree, and they have no clue what they can do with it. They don't really know how to get into the field of fitness, go into other fields of schooling to even just get a little bit of a taste. And I feel like the program really helps you to kind of narrow down what you want to do too as somebody in the fitness field. Like at the beginning I was, just wanting to learn, but then I was just so inspired, and I thought that I really want to be able to help people and to facilitate that transformation process with their bodies, with their mind, with their healthy eating. So I do think that there are just a lot of factors that you don't get in like a university setting, even though, it's a 4-year program or whatnot, or even the CanFit. Like, it's just that weekend course. And I feel like a lot of the times it's just very, very shallow learning. I feel like we got a lot of in-depth material with Fit Chicks.
That's awesome. And Sarah, same question.
Everybody had very big reasons as to why it was beneficial for me, but I think for me, like, just the flexibility and that there was so much valuable content. I really felt, once I was done, I was like, I actually feel prepared for the next step. Because if I still was confused or I didn't grasp it, the learning style was how I needed it to be, which was not just like, here's some videos, watch some videos, but it was also the interaction of the tests and the quizzes, as well as the assignments and the practicals. Like, it was just so well-rounded to make sure you actually knew what you were doing practically. So I think that's probably one of the biggest for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so, guys, this is just like a free-for-all question. I'm just curious, does anyone have any opinion on, like, the idea of, a lot of people get really nervous when they consider taking this program because they think, how am I going to balance my life, my kids, my job, my this, my that? We're busy, right? Like, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So what do you say to anyone that is watching this right now or that's considering taking the program, that's thinking, like, how am I going to do it? So anyone have any kind of feelings around that?
I think it's definitely the support system that yourself and Laura, you guys are there for you. And I remember the first initial phone call that we had when I was considering signing up. I just felt so much more comfortable that, like, somebody picked up the phone and, like, said, like, let's talk about it. Let's, see where you're at. And I just felt like just having you guys there and knowing you guys are there and having that community to support you. And if anybody had any questions, or if people are, behind or struggling, and you just kind of, type in the Facebook group and say, hey, like, I'm not really doing so great right now. Can anybody offer me a piece of, positive advice or anything like that? Just having that there was just a huge thing, because you just realize that everyone's in the same boat. And I mean, obviously there are deadlines and timeframes and whatnot, but you did have a little bit more flexibility knowing that you guys were there.
Yeah, sure.
I think for me, having it laid out, like, you guys had a schedule of classes come up on this day, this is when your quiz will be available, that sort of thing. For me, I work well with, like, a plan, but that's like some weeks where I was like, yep, that's not going to happen this week, but I would just catch up the following week. And for me, because it was during Christmas holidays, the end of it allowed me to, like, plow through assignments and get stuff done. So I think having that structure was really good, but also knowing, like, I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot if I don't get this video and this quiz done right now.
Right.
So super flexible, but also structured.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of, it's funny that you say that, Sarah, because that's actually one of the reasons why we have the schedule in place, is because human nature is to procrastinate. And if everything's in front of you at once, right? If everything's in front of you at once, more oftentimes than not, we'll just be like, oh, I'll get to it later. But having a structured schedule, even though it's like a loose schedule, because you can work around it and you can, like, if you can't do the classes that week, you can do them the next week, and et cetera. It's more of like a guideline, but I think that it does help people actually stay more accountable. So
for me, it was huge. It was huge, the deadlines.
Yeah.
I have a kid. I was working. I do everything in my house. I cook, I do everything, and I could do it. I could do it. Because of the deadlines. You are, like, kind of forced to know, like, I have 2 weeks to finish this, and then you organize yourself with it. So when I didn't have time to watch you guys live, I could, like, watch the video later and do my assignments and ask the questions in the group. So that was good. And also, have someone to support you in the house is good. So I suggest you, if you have, like, many stuff as I had in your life, look that support in your house and say, like, you know what, like, this is going to be my time. Can you help me out here? So my husband was my supporter by that time. So he knew that those times I was going to be watching my classes and studying. I found a nanny like for 2 hours during the week, for me to be able to study a little bit more. So it was worth it. The investment was worth it because I wanted to finish on time. So you can do these little changes in your life and you get it, like totally 100%.
Yeah. And Dougmary, we like to say, instead of you're forced, we like to use the word motivated.
Exactly.
You're motivated to get them done.
Exactly, totally.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. So now, in terms of what you are currently doing, I know that some of you shared a little bit about what you're doing, but I'd love to hear from each of you and hear about what it is that you are currently doing now that you've graduated and you have launched your businesses or in the process of launching. If you can each share what it is that you are doing now and how you feel like the program actually prepared you for that role. And I know some of you kind of shared that already, but if we can just go through that. So Claudia, we'll start with you again.
Okay, so I'm actually in the process of getting everything all together. I'm planning on doing personal training, semi-private training, group, and also nutritional coaching. So right now I am slowly getting the word out to family and friends. And what's great is that they're actually telling other people. And so I have interest. And so it's kind of lighting that fire under my butt to, get moving. And I'm just really excited because I'm going to be able to help people get out of that roller coaster mentality. And the thing is that people see that. And so without having me to say anything at all. And that's what's most exciting. So
that's awesome.
Oh, and I just want to add that this course has totally transformed everything for me. I know that it's great for business and stuff, but it's also the personal development. I feel that I learned so much about myself. And I have to say, you and Laura are amazing. You're the two most down-to-earth women I have ever met. And so it's just been a pleasure working with you guys, and the community is amazing as well. It's funny, when you get on this journey of getting healthy and stuff, not everyone in your inner circle is on board. And so I found some people, which I was surprised, weren't as excited for me. And so it was nice to be in a community where you could talk about health and people don't get annoyed, you know? So,
where you could celebrate the little things like, I learned about macros today, and other people are excited for you. Yeah.
Yes, because, some people would be like, you could just tell it when I'm, excited about sharing something, and it's like, oh God, here she goes again, talking about nutrient timing or macros or wellness. So that's what I love about the Fit Chicks community. So
awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And Rowen, what would you say in terms of what I know right now you've got a boot camp going on, but what is it that, tell us a little bit more about it. And then also, if you want to share with us, did you feel like the course really prepared you for that?
Yeah, so even at the end of the course, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do. I knew that I started to learn to like group training. And actually at my work, I started a 6-week challenge with some of my coworkers. And it was really exciting to see them go through some changes and be excited and inspired themselves. So I was, thinking, well, maybe I'd like to do that. And it's funny, when you put your mind to something, the universe conspires to make it happen. Even taking this course kind of, when life gets hectic, you can still make things work. If you want it, the universe will help you. That's kind of my mindset. And I started talking about, I'd like to open a boot camp. I'd like to open a boot camp. And I saw a girl that went to the boot camp that I belonged to at the time. And I kind of just said that to her. And she's like, well, actually, my friend just bought the building across the street and they're going to open some space for rent. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So I guess this is going to happen.
That's amazing.
So, and then the trainer that I had actually been working with for 2 years at the other boot camp, he was ready for a change. And we got to talking. And so the great thing is he has a lot of I feel like I still have to learn a little bit about, different exercises you can do. And so he's been a really good mentor for me.
Yeah.
And, but I do feel that the course definitely the confidence that even if he wasn't there, I might have started a little smaller, but it gave me the confidence to be able to lead those classes, to have a structure that works. And I think it definitely, I couldn't have done it without taking this course.
Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Dougmary,
Yes.
tell us about a green unicorn.
Yes, a green unicorn just turned 1.
Yay! Happy birthday!
Yeah, we have an anniversary party last week. So it was amazing. The community has grown super fast. I partnered up with a Zumba teacher that now is in the program also. She's about to graduate with you guys. So I partnered up with her, and we are running a fitness challenge in our town in Jersey City. And it has been very successful. We just launched yesterday. We started the 7 fitness challenge here. So I've seen around 70 plus clients already in only 1 year. So I have learned a lot about food, different kind of foods. It has been amazing. I run a boot camp every Saturday, and also I teach a group class with my partner. So she teaches Zumba 30 minutes, and I teach strength training the other 30 minutes. Then I dance and lift. So it's pretty popular, that class too. And I do online nutrition coaching, and I do one-on-one nutrition coaching and personal training too. So I have some clients in town that I do personal training as well. So yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations. And did you feel as though the course really prepared you for that, to be able to take on all of these things?
Totally. I quit my job last year on January. So I was, working part-time, and then I decided I wanted to do this full time, because I was really inspired with the program. So like, if I don't do it this now, I'm not going to do it. So I was really inspired, and I quit my job. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. This is going to be my full-time job.
Yeah.
And then with the business component, that helped me to, when I graduated, I have my business already. So I launched, I did everything that you guys told me to do, like contact local bloggers, be active in social media here and there. I went to networking, even everything that you told me to do, I did it, and it worked. Here I am.
Awesome.
I'm working
1 year later.
Exactly. I have my own schedule because I want to take care of my daughter after school. For me, that was big. And so I just accommodate my schedule around her. My clients know that I'm a mom. They're parents too, so they kind of understand, and I make it work.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. And Jen, why don't you share with us what you're currently doing? And so since you've graduated, what you've been doing, and then did you feel that this prepared you for that role?
Yeah, so after I graduated, I took on a couple of in-home clients. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do business-wise. I know still in the back of my mind, I always kind of want to have my own business, but I just wasn't, ready to see what exactly I wanted to do. I do feel that the program prepared me, but I just still have to do my own kind of soul searching. But I did take on some in-home clients, but I just didn't feel like that was for me. Just going, traveling to people's homes and doing clients that way. Just for me, like I just personally wanted just one place that I can kind of just go to and just train. So there's a place in my my community. It's called Integrity Fitness, and they're a boot camp facility. They've been around for 20 years. They're pretty popular in my area. And so I applied for an interview because I swear, like, it's almost like fate. After I graduated, there was an opening and somebody told me about it. So I went, and I was so nervous. I was like, I don't think they're going to hire me. They've been around for 20 years. They're very popular. Like, I don't have enough experience. I don't know them. So I went and I told them about the program and what I've been doing, and that I'm very new, and like I would love to, be a part of the team there and even have, that mentorship too. And he actually, my boss looked up Fit Chicks Academy and he said, this looks amazing. So I ended up getting hired. So it's been now a year that I've been working there, and I'm very busy. I work morning classes, sometimes as early as 6 a.m. And then I go back in the evening for evening classes, and I have some personal training clients in between. And I've just really grown there as a part of that team there, and I'm really, really fortunate to be there. But I also wanted to learn a little bit more about nutrition as well, because I just take a very personal interest in that. So I'm actually studying at the Edison Institute of Holistic Nutrition, which is an online program, because I, again, didn't want to stop my job to go to school. So it's kind of similar to Fit Chicks, where it's, distance education and it's all online. They do have deadlines and all that. So I've been working on that at the same time as doing the boot camps and the personal training. So I'm hoping that can kind of go hand in hand and maybe even put me in the direction that I want to go to in terms of my own personal business wise. And I'm also prepping for my first bikini competition. So it was a big thing for me that I decided that I wanted to do. And I know a lot of people have, pros and cons about it, and they have opinions about it. But it was something that I just felt like I needed to experience at the time. And so far it's going really great. And because I do have, the knowledge from Fit Chicks, I know what the right way to do things are and what maybe the unhealthy way to do things are. So I do think that I feel very prepared, and that Fit Chicks really was like that first stepping stone into like my lifelong career. Like, this is something that I want to be submersed in. And I love that the fitness industry is always changing and there's always different things to learn about. And I'm just one of those people that I really do enjoy learning. So I just find that this was just like the best, like basic thing that you could do to just kind of push yourself into the direction that you want to go to if you're doing health and fitness.
Awesome. Thank you. And congratulations and good luck in your competition. And Sarah, tell us a little bit more about what you've got going on.
So I think I technically graduated 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I know, because you messaged me and you're like, I'm ready to launch, but I just need my cert from you. Because you were that prepared.
Yeah, I would say the course definitely prepared me for doing something. So I had all my assignments submitted by the end of January, and I basically started building my business at the beginning of January. So over the Christmas holidays, I found a name, ran into troubles with my name, had to rename.
Right.
Bought 2 website domains, had to change my social media over again. But basically, I launched yesterday with a big launch party with my friends and family. I start classes officially on Monday. I've been given a unique situation. So I've been going to a chiropractor who does physio basically for the last year and a half. And she's a woman entrepreneur, and she believes in what I do and knows my story. And she said, hey, well, I took over the gym she's above an arena, a hockey arena. And she's like, I took over the gym. I'm renovating it. It's gonna be all new equipment.
Yeah.
I want to help you build. So why don't we do a profit split and you can use my space? I was like, sorry, what? So for me, that means not paying a fixed amount of rent right away. It just means as I grow, I pay her a split, and then we put a cap on it. So I will be doing boot camp style classes, but kind of the difference of mine is it's a little bit more of a body positive space. Also allowing for different levels within the class to participate, offering different modifications based on injury, limitations, that sort of thing. So for example, I did a class this week and I had an athlete and I had somebody who's a 3X who has not been working out. And so just seeing the dynamic of the two of them together and like encouraging each other and drawing strength from each other was just so empowering and emotional, because that's my dream coming to reality. So in one day I got 4 paid monthly members, which is exciting. So hopefully it will just continue to grow. And my goal is to leave my full-time job in 2019. For now, it's just 4 classes a week. But now as I've been building, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to work my full-time job and do this, because I just want to do more, right?
Yeah.
So I've got to figure out ways that I can leave my full-time job sooner. So I'm definitely prepared. And in terms of getting new clients, what I ended up doing is I hired a consultant to write my content and build basically a sales funnel and start doing targeted Facebook ads. So everybody who has signed up, I don't know any of them. which is a good thing. So
that is a great thing. Yeah.
So then it goes beyond like my already existing social media platform, which is exciting too. So
very cool.
See.
Very cool. That's very exciting.
It is.
Thank you guys so much for sharing what you've got going on. I think it's really important, like I said at the beginning, that we kind of share that, because I think so many people are sitting there and they're like, okay, like I do want to do this. I want to get into this, but I have no idea if I can, or I don't know if this is going to be like the direction, or can I make a living in this, or can I make a career change, or, I'm nervous. Like people just get nervous, I think, about change in general. Like anything new is really nerve-wracking, right? And it's like embracing that and understanding that like there's going to be bumps along the road. There's like what Sarah was saying with her name and her trademarking and all that stuff. We talked about it. And like the stuff that comes up, it's going to keep coming up regardless of if you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for someone else. So if this is what you really want though, and if you really want to own your own business, or if you just want to get into this industry to inspire people and to help people and make a little money on the side, like it is possible, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So what would you each say to anyone who's on the fence about taking this course? And then we're going to wrap this up, but I'm curious to know, like, what would you say? Like if I was like, hey, I'm really thinking about taking this course, but I just don't know. I have these hesitations, whether it be I don't have enough time, or I just don't know if it's the right fit, or I don't know if I'm going to feel prepared. Like, what would you say to anyone who's just sitting there right now? So we'll start with you, Claudia. What would you say to anyone who's like on the fence, who is considering signing up for this certification?
I would say just do it, because you will never be 100% ready. It's just like having kids. You're never ready, right? And so my other suggestion would also be just fight the fear, because like I said before, fear is just you're having faith that something negative is going to happen. So why not have faith that something good is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And regardless what happens, you have to take things one step at a time. So I think the problem, what was my issue, was that I was looking so far ahead that this mountain was so overwhelming. So if you like are thinking about all these things, yeah, you're going to get overwhelmed. But if you're like, okay, I'm going to take the course, and so you break things down, you make it really small, that once you make it so small, you realize, wow, it's not that big. So that mountain becomes a small molehill. So I would say just do it. And as I said before, the personal growth is so immeasurable that even if, like you were saying, even if you decide not to do this as your own personal business, I mean, just growing and realizing so much about yourself, you can't put a price tag on it. So just do it and fight the fear. That's what I would say.
Love it. Thank you. And Dougmary?
So I would say if you are considering change to your career to fitness or nutrition, is because you want to help people. And if you want to help people, that means that you have a gift. And if you're not taking the decision right now, there are people who are in need of your help and you're not doing it. So the more time you are taking to take the decision, there are like more people getting sick outside. There are more people waiting for you, like to encourage and to motivate them. Yeah. So I would say that don't take so long to decide, because if you have that inside, it's because, like you got to do it. And people need you. Even though like when you're like just graduate and you feel that you don't know enough, you still know enough to help somebody because they know less than you. So I would say that, like the universe is waiting for you to help them, and just do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Rowen, what would you say?
I would say a little bit of what both these ladies have touched on.
Yeah.
And I kind of mentioned it before. I strongly feel that you should trust your intuition. And once you make a decision on something, all in the universe is going to make that happen for you. And it might seem like a big mountain at the time, but once you get there, everything falls into place. And you should always listen to that inner voice. And yes, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah. I like that. I love this whole fear talk because it's so true. Anyone that's sitting there thinking, it's like fear just gets in the way of so many things. We just got to like kick it to the side.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Jen, what would you say to anyone on the fence right now about taking this program or just taking this sort of leap of faith, I guess, in following their passion?
Yeah, honestly, everyone made amazing points, but I guess the first thing that came into my mind when you initially asked the question was what Claudia said is just do it. Like if you have that little, just even that little inkling of like, this is something that I'm interested in, there's no reason why you can't just go for it and just give it a try. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but it's always something that's an experience in your life that leads you on a personal level of growth. So even if it's not something that you're going to, continue for the rest of your life, like, you may say, hey, I don't really want to do this after, but even if it was something that can make you grow as a person, as an individual, it's something that you can just say, okay, you know what, I did it and that's great. But I promise you, if you are, into the health and fitness world and you do take the Fit Chicks course, it's going to lead you down a great path. So I would just say, just go for it.
That's awesome. And Sarah, what would you say?
Well, I would say the theme that everybody has said is just do it, like Nike.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I would also say that nothing grows inside our comfort zones. So getting out of our comfort zones and taking on something new. And again, if you have that feeling of, hey, maybe I should, there's probably a reason for that. And what's the harm, right? So do it. And you don't use it now, but you do down the road. Like you just have no idea what happens. And in our journeys, we get to decide what comes into the journey. And from there, decide what happens with it. Like I had no intention of opening a space within like 4 months of starting the course.
Right.
Like, it wasn't even in my realm of thought. I was like, oh, maybe I can like do personal training. And the big goal was like, I want a center for women for them to learn to love themselves and do fitness, body love, confidence, all of it. But I didn't think it was actually going to happen that quick. So my intention was set out just to like learn, figure out maybe a next step, and then all this other stuff followed. So it just goes to show what happens when you just jump in.
Yeah, definitely. When you just jump in and you just kind of let yourself guide you through the journey as opposed to letting fear kind of like hold you back from things, you'll achieve things. And I find too, and I don't know if anyone here can attest to this, but when you go through the course, because you're going through so much material and you have so many different pieces that you're learning about, sometimes you go into it thinking that there's the one thing that you want to be doing, where you're like, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to do personal training. And then when you graduate, you're like, nah, that's actually not what I want to be doing. I want to be doing this and this and this, because you've learned so much and you've grown so much as a person throughout the course, and you've been educated in so many areas that you actually become inspired in different ways too. Has anyone had that experience?
Yeah,
I did. When we had to do the group practical, I was kicking and screaming in my head. I was like, I don't want to do this.
No.
But, and the thing was, I thought, okay, I'll stick, be safe. I'll ask family members, I'll be fine. And I had 2 family members that were able to help me with one, but I had 3 other practicals that I had to do. And it was the best thing that happened because I had to ask outsiders and because
strangers.
of that now, strangers.
Yeah.
And because of that now people want to join my tribe. So it's
so cool.
The very thing, that you don't want to do is the best thing that you should be doing.
Yeah,
for sure.
For me, for the group practical was the same thing because I speak Spanish, right? So I was like, how in this earth I'm going to teach a class in English? People are not going to understand me. I feel that I'm going to die in that class. I was like super nervous. I don't have family members as you guys. So, it's only my husband, me, and my daughter and me. So I was like, okay. So everyone else, I didn't know them. And it was actually better because now these people have, helped me grow my business. It helped me a lot to grow my business that way.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm classing my Spanglish, and they do it. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. We are going to wrap this up because I do know that we all have a lot happening, and I know some of you got to go teach and everything else right now. But I just want to thank you guys again so much for your time today, for sharing your experience, and just, you know, allowing other people to know that it is possible, to, you know, because I tell people this all the time. I talk about this consistently, where it's like, Laura and I built our business in our living room. We work from home. We built everything that we've done from our living room and from an idea, from a vision, and we've created everything. We've reached every goal that we have set out to reach. And, you know, it's easy for someone to hear that from one person and think, yeah, but that's you. But I think hearing it from other people and seeing all your journeys and hearing about sort of the process that you're on and sort of how it's transformed you in so many ways is really important. So thank you guys so much for sharing that. I really, really appreciate it. And I wish you all continued success, of course. And I mean, we'll be talking again soon, I'm sure.
You.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.